Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with the opening bell for a Friday. It is December 2nd. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your good friends right here at atsstats.com. All right, something new here today, opening bell, and what we're going to do in the opening bell is just basically a good morning, how you doing, and introduce you the SBI, the Sports Betting Index for today. It is December 2nd. Instead of doing it on the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some segments, and this way create a little bit other videos, so this way we save more time for the podcast during the day when we break down the NHL, NBA, and the NFL, and college football. We'll have college football today at 1 o'clock Eastern. All right, let's get to the opening bell here today on the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and let's see how we did last night in the National Basketball Association. In fact, we only had one game yesterday in the association, and we were 1-0 to the underdog, so big win yesterday for the Pistons. And let's look at the overall 7-day average of the National Basketball Association. And as you can see, the last 7 days, we are 53.1% for the favorites the last 7 days. And I'm just going to pull something up right here, as I wanted to see the 131-125 was the final in that Pistons game last night against the Mavericks. So big upset win for the Pistons yesterday, a home underdog. And in the NBA, you can see right here, we are 62.3% to the over the last 7 days in the NBA. And when it comes to the point spread, well, 55.1 favoring the neutral markets for the underdogs, 44.9 for the favorites. But on the season, you can see here 62.5% of the favorites have covered the spread, have won straight up on the season, only covered the spread 48.2. So again, this is why I say all the time when we do the show is why I do not bet the favorites to win and cover the spread, because you can see right here a big difference of about 14% of winning and covering. All right, so you can see here on the November 30th, 11-2 for the favorites, and on the 1 month average, 63.6%, 1% higher than the yearly average. But again, if you're betting, then look at this, 62.3 of the overs have come in the last 7 days in the NBA. All right, let's take a look at the NHL, and let's see how we're doing right now in the National Hockey League. And a couple of games last night. In fact, the favorites went 9-2 yesterday in the National Hockey League, 7-4 on the puck line, 6-5 when it comes to the over-under. And on the 7-day average, you can see we are 6% higher than we are on the season, of 60.1% of the favorites. So big night for the favorites yesterday, and you can see the over/under on the 7-day average pretty much even Steven. So if you are betting the total in the NHL, fire away on your units, because we are in a neutral market, 59.9% on the puck line. And this is how I gauge how much money I'm going to be spending per unit. Because the one thing when you do the market report, you just don't know what if the favorites are going to keep winning, the underdogs are going to keep winning, and what you want to do is keep an eye out on the SBI, the Sports Betting Index. All right, big game last night for the Buffalo Bills. You can see here last night, big victory. I believe the score was 24-14 for the Bills, and you can see on week 13, the favorites did cover week number 1. On the season, though, 64.2% of the favorites winning straight up in the National Football League, but only covering 47.7. So if you are betting the underdogs this year in the NFL, you're doing pretty good, and that's why the bookmakers are enjoying this season. All right, let's get to the bells and the Bulls and Bells. Hey. The Bulls and Bears report here on the Raymond Report. This is the opening bell, and we're going to be, this will be the first show of the day moving forward, and there'll be other shows throughout the day. And basically, I'm just cutting up some of the, what makes the podcast longer throughout the day, and we're just going to, the horse racing and all that stuff. I'm going to do those separate videos for those shows, and then we come back with our podcast at the top of the hour here on the Raymond Report in the mornings. All right, let's take the Bears and Bulls in the NFL, and you can see the Philadelphia Eagles, an A-type team. Now, if you are new to the Raymond Report, and if you go to the sports betting guidelines of the golden rules of sports betting, you can see here in the Raymond Report, Teams that are A-type teams are teams that are 60% or higher. B-type teams are 50 to 59.9. And C-type teams, those are teams below 500. And we very rarely bet on C-type teams. Teams that are bullish, they're 3-0 or better in the NFL, college football, CFL. So basically the football sports. Sports with less volume during the week. Neutral teams are 1-2, 2-1 last 3 games, and teams that are bearish, those are 0-3 in their last 3 contests, 0-3 or worse, right? So you can see right now the A-type teams in the NFL that are doing very well. Teams that are 60% or higher: Cincinnati Bengals, the San Francisco 49ers, the Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs. Those are your bullish teams right now in the NFL. In the B-type teams, teams with a 50% to 59.9. Not a lot of B-type teams. You can see the Washington Commanders are the team that have the most value with the B-type teams. They are bullish right now. And the C-type teams, well, the teams you see below 500, the teams you want to stay away from: the Rams, the Broncos, the Bears, and the Houston Texans. All right, let's take a look at the Bears and Bulls in the NBA. Those A-type teams, look at this. Every A-type team in the NBA is bullish. You very rarely see that. So keep an eye out on the teams like New Orleans, Cleveland, Denver, Phoenix, Milwaukee, and Boston. Those are teams that are A-type teams that are very bullish. The B-type teams, only the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors. So those are your average teams in the NBA that are bullish right now. So you want to keep an eye on those 2 teams, and the teams to stay away from, the C-type teams, like last night, Dallas. And that's why we had no play in the NBA last night, because Dallas is a bearish team. New York, Oklahoma, San Antonio, and Orlando are your bearish teams in the NBA. All right, let's take a look at the NHL. The A-type teams in the NHL, those are teams with a 60 or higher win percentage. And good morning, Epic Clutch. Hope you're having a good start to your morning. And again, welcome to the opening bell. This is just a separate video from the podcast, and each and every morning I'm going to show up here on the opening bell, and I'll be having other videos. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see the schedule of the other videos I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do horse racing and so on and so forth. There'll be other videos to come, but instead of doing separate videos, I might as well do the live podcast. This way it gets broadcast right away. All right, so you got Boston, New Jersey, Winnipeg, Seattle, Colorado, Tampa Bay, and Toronto. Those are your A-type teams that are bullish right now. Teams that are neutral: the Islanders and Vegas. Both Vegas losing last night. The Islanders playing tonight against, I believe it's Nashville. And then you got the B-type teams: the Montreal, Nashville, and Pittsburgh. 3 teams that won last night, and those are B-type teams, and this is why you have to watch the opening bell to get your Bears and Bulls report. All right, let's take a look at the top 80% club stats. Trends are your friends, but they don't pay the rent. And let's go to the NBA, and let's get your top NBA trends here for today. And just checking out the time. And the thing I love about these videos, they're going to be short. So if you're on the move, you don't have a lot of time to watch the entire 1 hour podcast, these short videos will scratch that itch for you. All right, you can see here some of the 80% club stats for today. You can get these each and every day at atsstats.com. Anytime Brooklyn's a home favorite versus an Atlantic Division opponent like the Raptors tonight, they are 12-3 straight up. And look at that, I've got a couple of more on the Brooklyn Nets. Anytime Brooklyn's a pick'em the -3 home favorite, last 3 years coming off an ATS win, 8-2 to the under. The Utah Jazz, anytime they're a 3.5 to 6 point home favorite before a conference game, coming off a 12 to 15 point win, 14-3 straight up. And let me take a look down here. Boston Celtics, anytime they're a home favorite, the last 5 years, the total's 220 or more. They scored 120 or more points in their last game, 19-4 straight up. And you can see here the Atlanta Hawks, anytime they're picking to +3 home underdog after a conference game during the month of December, 11-2 to the over. And look at any mic drops down here. Oh, Milwaukee. This is a pretty good one. Anytime the Bucks are a favorite during the last 4 years with 1 under or less, and they won their last game by 6 points or more, and they are 3-0 in their cycle the last 3 games. They are 19-3 straight up in their next contest, and those are your 80% club stats you can get here each and every day at atsstats.com. Let's go to the NHL and see if we have any good stats tonight in the 80% club for the NHL. Now, Ottawa and the Rangers, they're playing in a back-to-back game situation. They played here on Wednesday night, and anytime the Ottawa Senators are an underdog versus the Rangers, 8-2 to the under. And you can see the Islanders as a home favorite versus a non-conference opponent like Nashville, coming off 1 under, and they scored 1 or less goals for last game. 11-1 straight up in their next contest. And the last one on the board, when Nashville's an underdog the last 5 years, and they are 1-4 in their last 5 games. They are 13-3 to the over. All right, there you have it. That is the opening bell today for the Rain Report. I'll be back here at 9:30 with your free horse racing selections. In the meantime, shop for value, play those percentages. I'll see you.